Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
The Volen Center, well, we're well represented today, and what we know is that we have to talk to someone who's there. I don't know, I'm having a reverberation for some reason. You hearing it?
I hear you.
What's going on
I
there?
hear you.
Okay. So what am I going to do about that? Anyway, well, we'll just do it, and we'll see what happens. So, Kim, we were talking about this when you first came into the show, and apparently we have, we really need volunteers, and you've told us that all the time, and we call them now volunteers.
Volunteers. Because
That's very good. But tell us why you need volunteers. Let's say there were no volunteers. What would happen?
Well, it limits when we don't have volunteers, it limits the things that we can do in the active senior center. It also limits the things that we can do in our daycare centers. We do have a few volunteers, and when they do come in, it's a different activity. Someone new in the center, people tend to come in and want to participate a little more when it's a new situation. So we have volunteers at one of our centers that come in and sing, do sing-alongs with the group. Some of them just come in and help with their services, like assist people with passing out lunch. We do have meal sites, so we do need people to come in and help pass out lunches to our groups of people that come in for lunch every day.
And so, being a volunteer, I always feel, and I've volunteered a lot for a lot of things, that I probably get more out of it than the volunteer.
Absolutely.
The volunteer gets so much more out of it than even the people that they help.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have. I have someone who was just a regular member at the center, and he's talks to everyone, very social. And I needed somebody to run my men's club in daycare. So I asked him if he would mind doing it once a week, and it's great. He comes in, he gets all the guys together, chit-chatting, and it runs for about 45 minutes, and they love it. So just people to come in and spend some time.
So how long would, let's say I decide to volunteer, how could I, was an hour, 2 hours, what would it have to be? It
depends what center you go to, what you want to do. I mean, if you come in to help serve lunch, it could be 2 hours, and then you spend the rest of the day at the center enjoying the activities, the live entertainment. If it's at the daycare, if you want to come in and read a story or do a sing-along, or you think you can bring in some exercise ideas, we're open to it. Anything.
And so, you have a very big position. Of course, as an RN, you have to watch over everything, because now you can get volunteers who maybe are a problem. And I don't want to get negative, but how do you get the volunteers to do what you want them to do?
First, when they come in and they're interested, we let them know what we're looking for. If someone wants to come in and we don't, and they want to do something that we don't need, we'll show them around, find them a spot, give them some ideas, and often they'll go right in and want to do what we need. But we really don't have a problem with people not wanting to help.
Okay, so the ages of your volunteers, do you ever have any young people?
Certainly. A lot of high school students have to do community service hours to graduate. I think it's just a state requirement now. So yes, we do get some of the high schoolers that come in and help. We would love if someone would like to come in and do a computer class, teach the seniors how to use their iPhones. Some of them need to pay their bills online, so they come and use our computers, and often they don't know how to get online.
It's a great service.
Yeah. So if we can get volunteers to do that, would be great. But we have from high schoolers all the way up to, I know we have somebody that's in our meal site that serves every day, and she's 91.
What a wonderful thing, because you can imagine, that she knows she has a responsibility.
She does.
And she knows that without her, those people aren't going to get, they'll get meals, but what does a meal server do? They have to go back in the back, bring out the food and then
serve
bring
it
out
to the group.
How many people get meals there?
It depends on the site. So
Your largest site.
I would say it depends on the day. If we have a field trip that's going to Chili's for the day, we'll have, maybe 60, and then if everyone's eating lunch, maybe 80. So it all depends on the day. Some people enjoy a certain Friday lunch. If there's hamburgers, they'll show up on hamburger day. They look at the menus and come for those days.
And so so it's good food. It's sounding to me
it's
like
good food.
Like I could go for some of that.
We have a dietitian, and they make sure everything is nutritious. And we also have in our adult daycare site that's at the Adolph and Rose Levis Center. That's a kosher facility, strictly kosher facility.
Okay, so if someone came, would they get breakfast? Let's say they want to come for the whole day. Could they get breakfast too?
At the Volen Center on Palmetto Park and most of the meal sites, yes, they do get breakfast also, and breakfast and lunch. The Adolph and Rose Levis Center, we don't serve breakfast. However, we do croissants and jelly and peanut butter at that daycare site, but that they don't serve regular meal site breakfast.
Well, just think about this, and let me just tell everybody, you're listening to Kim Lovito, and Kim is the RN, Director of Adult Daycare at the Volen Center. So people would really save a lot on their groceries.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're going to get lunch, and probably it's a good enough lunch that dinner could be minimal. If they have breakfast, they have lunch, right?
Certainly. Through the Older Americans Act, anyone over 60 gets the free food at the meal site. So we have meal sites all over South Palm Beach County, and like I said, our daycare centers are meal sites for our daycare clients.
And a lot of them, if they don't have transportation to get there, you have a fantastic bus system.
We have a fantastic bus system. We have 30 buses. We
That's
transport.
impossible.
We have approximately 300 rides a day, whether it be from someone's home to our active senior center, or to the daycare centers, or to a doctor's appointment, or on a field trip. I think tomorrow we're going to Chili's for lunch. We do field trips to the casino.
Excuse me, you're going to Chili's. No, who pays for that?
They have to pay for their own lunches, but we do the transportation. They go as a big group. We send a staff member just to make sure everyone's coordinated and everything's okay. Same as we do if we're going to a regular field trip like the casino, or to a museum, or to Lion Country Safari.
So you literally have, and I think I have met her, you have an activities director, really, someone who plans these things.
We have, Maritza is our new activities coordinator. She plans these things a month in advance. And sometimes we have some last minute things that if we have to throw together, she does it. So, yeah, we get it done at the Volen Center.
Okay, so people are listening and they want to know how they can be a part of this. What should we tell them?
Well, it depends on what you would like to do, and if you need something from the Volen Center. We offer lots of support services for the seniors in South Palm Beach County. We have a programs department. We have adult daycare, which is for those who have Alzheimer's or dementia, or even mobility issues and can't be home safely alone. And then, of course, we have our active center, so give us a call.
Right.
And
well, that's what I want to do, and I'm going to give everybody that phone number because we want people to call for information, but also to get started. So the phone number that I have would be, let's see, well, so we could give the Volen Center, which is 866-223, no, let's see, I didn't have my glasses on. It's 2213, I think.
The local number is 561.
Okay, let's get the local number. Now we get
561-395-8920.
Yeah, I have that one. So that's the one. That's the three. That's 561-395-8920. Okay, while you talk, I'm getting my glasses. You know, you and I were talking about our dogs when you first came into the show. Mm-hmm. If someone has a dog, can they bring it?
Of course, if it's for assistance or it's a support animal, yes. We do prefer that if it's not an emotional support animal or a support animal, that you don't bring them in.
Right.
But we do have pet therapy. Sometimes people will bring them in and bring around for everyone to visit.
So I want to reiterate something you said. So the Volen Center, which is on Palmetto Park Road, is one. That's your largest one. Isn't it larger than the adult daycare program over there in Delray?
Well, in Delray, that is strictly an adult daycare, and then on Palmetto Park is the seniors active center, and on the other side is the adult daycare. So it's all one building. But it's separated. The adult daycare section is a locked facility for safety. Occasionally, we will bring participants for the adult daycare side out to participate in activities like live entertainment, some of the parties, theme parties that we do, because that's a very high-functioning adult daycare.
Yeah. So you actually have 3 opportunities, don't you? And you need volunteers for each.
Well, I have 3 adult daycare and then the life enrichment, so 4 opportunities that we need volunteers for.
And you will help them get to each one of these locations.
Certainly.
Yeah. And so that's what we're going to talk about. I'm writing the article now. It's called Pay It Forward, because we know that volunteering is magical, especially for older adults who have nothing really that's important in their life. I mean, they get up, they have breakfast, they maybe talk to some of their friends, and they need to have value, I think. And don't you think that volunteering is the value?
Absolutely, and they make connections wherever they are. The volunteers that we have, like I said, they will often stay after the time they're needed there and participate in all the events.
Yep.
So it's great for them. It gets them out of the house. Nothing like being social.
Do you have couples doing this?
Oh, certainly.
Because I would think that they would like to do that.
We have couples that do this, and we have those who have met someone by doing this. So
excellent. Yeah. So it's a don't go online. Go to the Volen Center. Right. But then do you have people, of course, men, as you were just saying, men separately, but and then the ages. That was interesting. That actually young people could do this as part of their school requirement.
Certainly, they can come do it as part of their school requirement. We're looking for people who are computer savvy, looking for people who are just want to assist arts and crafts, even maybe some drama, or assist with some reading aloud. That would be wonderful.
Tell me what your major responsibility is. I mean, I have an idea, but yeah. Well,
my major responsibility.
Like, you could use the word everything.
My major responsibility is making sure everyone is safe. That's my major responsibility. The facilities are, like I said, locked facilities, the adult daycare. So making sure everyone is safe there and making sure everyone is happy. It's about the person in all of our centers.
So Kim Lovito, you are an RN, which is a wonderful thing to happen. A lot of these places don't have anybody with your qualifications, which I think was terrific that you decided to work there. Do you have a large staff?
I have a very large staff. In the daycare specifically, we have about 30 staff members, plus we have the nurse registry, which I have a few staff members in the nurse registry.
What's the nurse registry?
Nurse registry is a referral service. We make sure that all of the independent contractors that we refer out are vetted. They have their background screening. They're free of communicable disease. They have all of their certificates like home health aide or certified nursing assistant, CPR. And we refer them out to clients for personal care, for homemaking, for companionship.
So you know your members, you know your people. So do they come and ask you for it, or you say to them, listen, I think we need to talk about something, because that's really what you're there for. It can
go both ways. Often it goes through the programs department, and we have many case managers at the Volen Center, and they go out and do the assessment, come back and say to us in the nurse registry, this person needs 10 hours of personal care a week. They don't have anyone to assist them at home. So then we find someone that fits their needs.
And they have to pay for that. That's not something you're paying for, right?
Often it's funded through community resources, through the area agencies on aging. Or they can do private pay also. Some people need assistance and they don't qualify for those programs, and they will pay privately, but it's it's nice that they can come to us and say, I know that whoever they're going to send us is safe. They have background screening, and they're free of communicable disease, and they can help me.
Wow. Okay, 561-395-8920.
Correct.
And that number will get them information. It's good to have one central number like
Correct,
that. And
yes.
then they can ask. And I've noticed when I've come there that the woman, I don't know what her name is, at the front desk is just sterling. She's so
Beverly,
enthusiastic. Is
Wonderful.
there only one
Beverly,
person?
yes. She's at the front desk. She's
It's important.
smiley and friendly, and she will help you with anything.
And the other thing that I noticed when I was there, that when people are taking the buses, it's very well organized. They're all sitting there together, and then they call the names, and they call what the bus is. And I don't think there's another center in South Florida, and I really truly mean that, that has the same bus system and or coordination that you do.
Correct.
Is that true?
We know way ahead of time who's going on what bus, with what driver, at what time. Everything is scheduled. Transportation department has it all together. We even do often, last minute, if someone showed up and didn't have a scheduled ride home, we get them home. We get them where they have to go.
I just love this. So now let's get to and we didn't touch on the daycare very much, but that's really a godsend for families who have a loved one and they have to work, and they can be assured that their mother or father is going to be in a situation where they're going to have fun, they're going to learn, they're going to be safe. Tell us about what actually happens. Let's say you had a parent in there. How would you describe that?
Often when someone is newly diagnosed with Alzheimer's dementia, and caregivers, whether it be a spouse or a child, they are realizing they cannot leave that person alone safely. They have to go to work. They still have things they have to pay for, and they're looking for a safe place. The East Boca location, we just opened in March. We reopened in March, and it's just jumping in there. We have, I want to say, 54 clients now since March. And
this isn't at the Volen Center on Palmetto.
This is at the Volen Center on Palmetto.
You call that the East location.
This is the East location, yeah. So they are active all day long. Live entertainment, like I said, men's club, women's club. They do memory games. It's a very high functioning facility. Anyone who is in the adult daycare at the East Palmetto Park, the West Palmetto Park location, has to be independently mobile, let's say. That we redirect, but they make their own choices. They if you don't like the music, go play cards. Go play cards in the other room. The other two centers, it's a little more structured. We do assist in the bathroom. We do assist with more things than we do at the other location. But everyone is free to be as independent as they can with some assistance. And it gives the caregiver a respite. It's unfortunate that so many don't realize that they do have the ability to come out and be able to do their own thing and put their loved one in a safe place.
Well, that's what I think I'm here for. That's why I have you on the show and why we do our articles. I want people to know just what the Volen Center is. It is really not to be believed. And I've always felt that way because I was a member and part of that in the early years. I couldn't really, you can't explain it adequately unless you have a family member who is at home and you don't know what to do, because a lot of people, they may have the insurance to keep them at home, but then they're home by themselves.
Correct.
And even if they just go 2 or 3 days, they don't have to go 5 days a week, right?
Correct. They can come one day.
Now, how does the fee work on that?
So the fee for Life Enrichment, which is the active center, is $60 per year. Yes, I said per year.
Oh my
And that includes
heavens.
your transportation.
And your meals?
And the meals are free. Those are
Because
funded
of
through the Older Americans Act.
$60 a year is a membership. I am just blown away every time. I have heard this before, but I'm saying somebody's making a mistake. I thought it should have been $600.
I agree.
Okay. So now let's get though into the daycare.
The daycares, depending on where you fall in the daycare, at how independent the participant is. The daycare at Palmetto Park Road is $500 flat rate a month.
$500, and that's 5 days?
That's 5 days. But that is for someone who's very independent, doesn't need assistance, just redirection. The other facilities, it's a $65 a day fee. But again, we always refer anybody who walks through our door to the area agencies for aging.
So it can help with that.
To help with funding, correct. Plus we have, you can go, if they're veterans, they can go through VA. So we definitely refer them for assistance.
Let's not turn anyone away.
Correct.
If you're having a financial problem, doesn't matter. Go there.
Correct.
And let's see what people can do. This is so important. And Kim, taking your time to do this, you understand that people listen to this, and it is if it isn't for them, it's for someone they know.
Correct.
And how long have you been at the Volen Center?
2 years.
And what did you do before that?
I've been a nurse for 25 years. So I did hospital nursing. I did travel medicine, and then it was time for things to settle down, which I thought would settle down. But this is a whole new world.
Yeah. And you're bringing all your good experience, but you're also very creative, and you love it. It's obvious.
I love it.
Look, people watching you now on Facebook Live can see the sparkle in your eye. I mean, you are. This was made for you to do, wasn't it?
I feel that way. It's an important place. It definitely is an important place.
Well, the Volen Center, and the history of that years ago it was just in a little neighborhood
Correct.
shopping center, and then some wonderful husband just thought it did the best for his wife, and when she passed away, he built this gorgeous building. I think it was $1 million. They told me it was huge. And so I don't think there's another place, because I've been to other senior centers, and a lot of them actually were other kinds of things that libraries and all, they put together. But this is unique.
This is unique.
Isn't it?
We have a huge auditorium. We have all kinds of rooms for different activities. We have a sewing and craft room. We have a movie room. We have a computer room. We have different little conference rooms that we have a Latin American club, all different clubs. Card room, poker room.
So let's say that a group wants to come because they need a space. I don't even know. I'm thinking there are a lot of groups. There are actually organizations who want a place to have their breakfast meeting or lunch meeting. Can they come there and do that?
Yeah, they can get a hold of Jared, and Jared will work that out. Absolutely.
That's something else. That's very important, because a lot of people are looking for that. Then would you be able to supply the food?
We would, for some of the groups that do that, we do supply coffee and some pastries in the morning.
You have a lot of people watching you. They're all popping up here. So that way, now let's say it's a luncheon. They would either order the luncheon and have it there, but you're saying that, and one thing I'll tell everybody about the Volen Center, parking, lots of parking. You're not going to have a problem, and it's close.
It's close.
Yeah, so it's a perfect venue for a lot of them, and we haven't really discussed that. I think that's important that people know that because those could be your future, well, not so much volunteers, but they have families.
Absolutely.
And they'll know about this. I know that there are private organizations that do daycare. And they charge, and it's always been a wonderful thing until an organization like you has it. But I have to say, you've had it for a long time. I remember years ago. When it was unheard of, you had it. So you're just so far into the good stuff.
Yeah, we do it right. We do the daycare right. Absolutely.
I know you do.
It's all about the participant. It's about having a good time. And being safe.
Yep, you're it. I'm so glad that you were able to come here and
I'm so glad you invited me.
Ambassador and the emissary for it.
Wonderful. We would love to have you.
Yeah, and I was thinking there are groups that could use that room. The big room.
Certainly. The big room, the little rooms, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take care of that. So I think we're just about out of time.